There's this 2016 Instagram trend at the moment, which I'm finding very painful. A lot of people posting images of themselves back in 2016. Meghan Markle has, of course, jumped on the bandwagon, posting about meeting Prince Harry. What can you tell us about her post?
Well, this was it, wasn't it? It was from Botswana bliss to barefoot boogie. That's what she had. It was the heartwarming history revived in this sort of viral vibe. It's basically it's this 2026 is the new 2016. 10 years. Where did they go? What she had? She's released this black and white video of her and Harry dancing barefoot. It was in fact filmed by their daughter Lilibet, so it wasn't in 2016 at all. But they did do this Botswana throwback from their early dating days. This was the year 2016 was the year that they met and fell in love. They got married, as you know, in 2018. Archie came along in 2019 and Lilibet in 2021. And they disappeared from the UK, the Mexit, in 2020 and moved to California. And that's what happens. It's Meghan's meme magic, if you like. She's dancing barefoot. It echoes the sort of 2016, the Sussex sparkle, they can call it. But Meghan's post proves past passions persist amid palace problems, is what I would say.
Now, we kind of alluded to there might be some PR problems for Meghan and Harry, and in a sign that they are just desperate to try and improve their PR. It's been revealed that Harry and Meghan have reconnected with old PR representatives following the resignation of their most recent publicist. What more can you tell us?
Yes, the prince and princess plagued by publicist purge, isn't it? This is the 11th exit, can you believe, which has basically shook the Sussex squad. What happened is they've rehired the PR firm Sunshine Sachs. How lovely is that? After the 11th staff exit, publicist Meredith Main, she quit after Archwell, after a year at Archwell. You might remember we spoke about it last year, the backlash at Kris Jenner's party photos. What they wanted to do, they were faced online criticism. They went to Jeff Bezos' £175 million mansion in Beverly Hills. They wanted all the images to be deleted because they were a bit upset that royals might be basically shun them during this reconciliation attempts. What's happened, they also had the executive director, James Holt, resigned. SSML, small, medium and large, I guess. And they also, you probably know, they're behind people like Hollywood heavyweights, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jimmy Fallon. And they're basically looking after their reputation now. Kelly Thompson Morgan, who's the president or co-president of the firm, she attended the 2018 wedding. She's going to be working in conjunction with the internal communication team in Europe, spearheaded by director Liam Maguire. They're trying to stabilise this image. It's basically from wedding guests to PR guardians. The firm fights Sussex firestorm amid family feud fears. They need to get their team right, and any more people leaving, the time when your PR people disappear and desert you, that's the time to worry.
Yeah, well, they've been worrying a few times now, haven't they? 11 times, in fact. Now, look, Prince Harry is in London. He appeared in a London court for his high-profile case against a British publisher. And Prince Harry, he jetted off from California to the UK. This was over the weekend, and this was ahead of the 9-week trial, which is taking place in the High Court. But importantly, no reunion with the family, it seems.
Yeah, well, that's right. Charles is up in Scotland, 400 miles away. But Harry, as you say, he flew in on Monday. He's got this case against Associated Newspapers, yet another legal case. He's accusing them of phone tapping and illegal information gathering during 1993 to 2011. Alongside him, his fellow litigants, who've got Sir Elton John, his husband, David Furnish. You've got campaigners, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, and politicians, Sir Simon Hughes, and also the actresses Sadie Frost and Liz Hurley. They're all taking this action against Associated Newspapers, and what they say is this allegations of unlawful information gathering. The trial's taking place before Mr. Justice Nickling at the Royal Courts of Justice, just up the road from me. Associated Newspapers, I should say, have denied any wrongdoing. They say the claims are preposterous and an affront to hard-working journalists whose reputations and integrity are wrongly traduced. Harry himself is due to give evidence this coming Thursday. I have sat in on previous hearings. As you know, my background's as a lawyer. I am a barrister and that sort of thing. And it is interesting. And it's basically, there's been a series of lawsuits. He won in 2023 against the Mirror Group newspaper, where the High Court ruled that he was a victim of widespread phone hacking. He settled in 2024 with the news group Publishers of the Sun, and Meghan Markle, basically, she won her case, a privacy and copyright case, you might remember, about the publication of her private letter to her father, and the publisher there paid damages and costs and issued an apology. So that's what happened. The interesting thing, Harry loves to be in court. He seems to be one of the most litigious royals in history, and he lost his High Court and Court of Appeal challenges in 24 and 25 to reinstate the taxpayer funded armed police protection in the UK after he stepped back from a working royal. That's all being revisited, but he also sued the paper for defamation in 2024, where he was basically, the Mail on Sunday accused him in an article of misleading the public about offering to pay for his UK security. In the end, he didn't follow that through, that particular case, and he agreed to pay some of the publisher's costs. And
you mentioned there that Prince Harry won't be reuniting with his family, of course, with the King being away in Scotland. What can you talk to us? Or can you talk to us a little bit more about his trip?
Well, yes, the King's up in Scotland. He's sipping the whiskey up there. He's basically enjoying his life there, and I think it's the King's doing very, very well in terms of public and so on and so forth. So he was up there to fly the flag, and also, as I say, he met a number of people up there. He was a bit worried about the photo opportunity because he was warned that the whiskey is quite strong, so you've got to be careful there. And he said, well, it's not the problem with the photos; is when you're sipping whiskey, they don't give very good photos. I guess he's a bit worried about when people eat food and so on and so forth. Politicians, there's some awful pictures out there when politicians have videos of people eating bacon sandwiches and stuff like that. So he's a bit worried about his image, but they loved him up there and he was doing very well. And it's not a bad trip, is it? Putting the spirits up in Scotland.
Now, there's more fallout over Andrew Windsor. Now, there are reports that Princess Eugenie has cut off all ties with her father, and it's understood that Andrew will be leaving Royal Lodge before the end of January. Not long.
It's not long at all. I did predict it. I said he's going to Christmas, give him a last chance to stay in that royal lodge where he's been paying this peppercorn rent, as we explained last year. Princess Eugenie, she's had no contact with Andrew. She's furious, apparently, about his lack of apology and the whole Epstein scandal. She skipped Christmas visits, and she also wants to focus on her own thing, the Anti-Slavery Collective, which is basically countering sex trafficking and so on and so forth. Beatrice, however, she is maintaining her ties. She invited Andrew to the daughter Athena's christening just a little while ago, but apparently Andrew wasn't in attendance at the party afterwards. It's unclear whether Andrew and Eugenie spoke during the christening, but you might recall that Andrew and Prince William didn't speak at the Princess, at the Duchess of Kent's funeral. They felt very, very uncomfortable there. A source tells me that Beatrice is trying to walk the fine line, if you like, of not cutting her father off, but remaining close to the royal family. It's a very tricky sort of situation. But Eugenie is not walking that line at all. She's just not speaking to him.
Well, another massive family drama. It certainly exploded this week. The Beckham drama. Of course, Brooklyn Beckham issuing a blistering statement accusing his parents of being controlling, saying that their behaviour has been controlling and it's caused problems in his relationship with his wife, Nicola Peltz. He said that he was humiliated, that his mother, Victoria Beckham, hijacked his first dance with his wife at his wedding. Now, David Beckham has responded.
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But, you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes as well.
Andrew, what do you make of David's words there?
What do I make of it? The Beckham's battle. Beck's lies and videotapes, as the Sun screams today. It's basically, and what happened? This explosive Instagram rant that Brooklyn accused David and Victoria of controlling his life, sabotaging this marriage to Nicola Peltz via wedding interference, media lies and excluding her. What happens? There was things like last-minute dress cancellations, pressure on naming rights and past flames at the event. What happened? he attended David's 50th, but he basically has no love lost. And the sad thing, in the same way as Harry and his public spat with his family, the media side is Shakespearean echoes as we talk about that sort of side. What the former photographer wrote, he said, "For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. The performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life I was born into." Brooklyn, who's married to model and heiress Nicola Peltz, 31, got married in April 2022. He claims, as you say, "My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped." He claims that Victoria cancelled making Nicola's dress and hijacked the first dance at the wedding. Basically, he says the whole thing is he's been controlled by a family that values public promotion above all else. What he says about the dance is quite extraordinary. He says, "In front of 500 wedding guests, Mark Antony called me to the stage where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mum was waiting to dance with me. She danced very inappropriately on me," extraordinary phrase, "in front of everybody." What's that? What sort of imagery is that sort of conjuring up? It is quite awful. And he said that he was called evil because that the nannies were put on his table, and poor old the other Beckhams, his mum and dad, were put on a separate table. And he basically says he doesn't want his life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness. But as you say, Beck's bit back, and David said that children make mistakes. That's what he did. He's at the World Economic Forum. He hasn't specifically addressed the statement other than to make that sort of stuff. But you can imagine this is going to run for days and days, and the press are bursting a blood vessel with the next exciting instalment.
Absolutely. Andrew Eborn, president of Octopus TV. Wonderful to see you again. Thank you so much.
Always a joy, Gabriella. See you next week.